How many times have you watched a goal happen and immediately blamed the goalie when the real problem started 10 seconds earlier on the far blue line? Yeah, exactly. This isn't an insult. It's just the reality of watching hockey as a fan. Most NHL fans don't actually understand hockey strategy, not because they're dumb, not because they don't care, but because the sport is built in a way that hides the chess game under chaos, and the way we're taught to watch it makes the strategy nearly invisible. And the funniest part is, hockey people will act like everyone gets it, like you're supposed to intuit a 1-2-2 forecheck the same way you intuit breathing. Meanwhile, half the building is screaming, "Shoot!" on a 2-on-4 rush like the puck is a magic spell. So let's talk about why this happens. And I'm talking like we're sitting on a couch, not like we're wearing suits and pretending we love the phrase low-event hockey. First reason is simple. The broadcasts don't teach you strategy. Football has basically turned explaining the sport into a weekly religion. They stop the game, pull up the telestrator, draw arrows, talk through reads, talk through matchups, show split screens, explain why a safety rotated. They give you vocabulary, they build your brain a toolbox. Hockey broadcasts? They give you good effort. They give you wanted it more. They give you got pucks deep, which is basically the same as saying the vibes were strong. And I get why. The game moves fast. The camera follows the puck. The broadcast wants to keep casual viewers engaged. But the result is a weird cycle. Networks assume fans don't want tactics, so they don't show tactics. Fans never learn tactics, so they don't ask for tactics. And the cycle repeats forever. It's like the league decided hockey strategy is a secret menu item. If you know, you know. If you don't, enjoy your chicken tenders and stop asking questions. Second reason is the game itself. Hockey is hard to read in real time. In football, the play stops. Everyone lines up, you get structure. In hockey, structure lasts about 3 seconds before it turns into a line change, a broken stick, a guy falling down, and a puck bouncing off a skate. A coach can draw up a system, but then a player changes mid-shift. Another guy is gassed. Someone misses an assignment by one stride. And suddenly the system looks like 5 people improvising in the dark. So when fans say we need a new system, half the time the system is fine. The execution is the issue. Or the matchup is bad, or the team is tired, or one winger keeps drifting because he thinks defense is a suggestion. And here's the kicker. To really identify strategy, you have to see the same pattern multiple times. You need repetition. You need clean reps. But hockey games are messy. Clean reps are rare, so casual fans look at chaos and think, random. It's not random. It just looks random at full speed. Third reason is coaches don't have time to teach new strategy anyway. People love saying, just adjust, like the coach has a whiteboard, 2 hours, and a classroom full of rested students. In reality, teams play 82 games. They travel constantly. Practice time disappears. By mid-season, coaches aren't installing some new revolutionary system. They're trying to keep legs fresh and fix one thing without causing 3 new problems. And hockey is unforgiving. If one guy is out of sync, the whole thing collapses. A forecheck only works if all 3 forwards are reading the same cues. One guy goes, the other 2 hesitate, and now you've created a free breakout for the other team. A defensive zone rotation only works if everyone switches at the right moment. One guy chases, one guy stays, and now someone is wide open on the back door and the goalie gets blamed for not bailing them out. So, coaches stay conservative. They use systems players already know. The league becomes copycat. You see the same structures over and over because they're teachable and reliable. Fans then watch those structures and think nothing is happening because it doesn't look like a play. It looks like spacing and pressure and positioning, which is exactly what it is. Now here's the part that really exposes all of us. Most fans watch the puck, not the game. You know the classic experience. You're watching on TV, the camera is tight on the puck carrier, and your brain locks in on the stick handling. You follow the puck like it's the only thing that matters. But strategy lives away from the puck. The real story is the weak side winger creeping into a lane. the defenseman stepping up at the blue line to kill the entry, the center deciding whether to support low or stay high, the guy without the puck dragging a defender with him to open a seam. If you watch the puck, you see moments. If you watch the other 9 skaters, you start seeing causes. And yeah, it's hard. It feels unnatural at first. It's like trying to watch a movie by staring at the background actors. But once you learn it, you can't unsee it. This is also why live games feel smarter. When you're in the building, especially up higher, you can see the whole sheet. You see plays developing before the puck gets there. You can feel when a team is trapped. You can sense when a breakout is about to fail. You can predict danger seconds early because the spacing tells you the ending. On TV, the game feels like it's happening in a tunnel. In person, you realize it's geometry. That's why someone who's been to 10 live games will casually say things like, "They're getting cooked on the weak side," and someone watching on TV will say, "Yeah, but our goalie needs to save that." Both are watching the same sport, only one is seeing the structure. Now let's talk about the vocabulary problem, because this is where fans get embarrassed and pretend they weren't confused. Hockey has systems with names and numbers, forechecks, neutral zone setups, defensive zone coverage, breakout options. But the average fan never gets taught the difference between a 1-2-2 and a 2-1-2. They just hear they need more pressure, which is like watching chess and saying they should move better. And even when fans do hear terms, they rarely hear explanations. Nobody pauses and says, "Here's why they dumped it in." Nobody explains that a dump and chase isn't always panic. Sometimes it's strategic. Sometimes it's because the opponent is stacking the blue line and you're choosing a forecheck battle over a neutral zone turnover. Sometimes the smartest play looks boring. That's a tragedy for highlights, but it's the truth. Now, you might say, "Okay, but we have analytics now. Doesn't that fix it?" Not really. Analytics helps, but it also creates a new kind of fake confidence. Some fans learned a few stats, started saying expected goals like it's a spell, and suddenly they act like they're running a front office. Meanwhile, the public stats are limited compared to what teams track privately. And even the best public numbers still need context. Who were you playing with? What zone starts did you get? What system does your team run? Are you asked to forecheck aggressively or sit back? Are you playing against top lines or sheltered minutes? Numbers don't explain strategy on their own, they reflect it. And if you don't understand the system underneath, you end up arguing about stats like two people fighting over a weather app without looking out the window. There's also research suggesting dedicated fans process the game differently. Not smarter as a person, just different in how your brain reads it. Experienced fans pick up on cues around face-offs, spacing, timing, and options. They're not only reacting to the puck, they're predicting based on patterns. That's why some fans seem psychic. They're not psychic. Their brain has built a library of hockey situations. Casual fans haven't built that library yet, so the game feels like speed and violence and sudden goals, which leads to the most annoying part of hockey culture, gatekeeping. You've seen it. A new fan asks a simple question. Why didn't they just clear it? And someone replies like they've been personally offended. Or someone asks what icing is, and a hardcore fan acts like they just asked what gravity is. That attitude keeps people out. It turns learning into a test, not a welcome. And hockey is already intimidating. Fast pace, complex rules, a million tiny details. If you make people feel stupid for asking, they'll just stop asking. They'll go watch a sport where the broadcast explains what's happening without making them feel like they're trespassing. And that matters, because hockey strategy is actually beautiful when you see it. A perfect forecheck isn't chaos, it's coordinated pressure. A great defensive team isn't boring, it's 5 players moving as one unit. A good neutral zone setup isn't playing scared, it's controlling space and forcing low-quality entries. The game isn't random action with goals sprinkled in, it's a tactical fight over ice, lanes, and time. So how do you actually start understanding it without turning it into homework? There are a few simple ways to watch smarter without ruining the fun. First, pick one thing per game. One game, watch breakouts. Forget everything else. When your team gets the puck behind their net, watch what happens. Do the defensemen split? Does the center swing low? Do the wingers fly the zone early or stay along the boards? Do they skate it out or chip it off the glass? You'll start seeing patterns fast. Second, on the next game, watch entries. Does your team carry in clean or do they dump? If they dump, do they recover or is it a turnover every time? Is the other team stacking the blue line? Is your team trying to hit the middle or going wide? Third, watch the player without the puck on offense. Who is creating the space? Who is dragging coverage? Who is cutting through the slot to pull a defenseman? Who is staying high to prevent the counterattack? That's where the plan lives. And last, stop blaming the last guy every time. Goalie, defenseman, whoever was closest to the puck when it went in. Sometimes that guy messed up, sure, but a lot of goals start with a bad change, a lost battle, a missed lane, or a center who didn't support the breakout. The last mistake is loud. The first mistake is quiet. Strategy helps you find the quiet one. So here's my question for you. What do you think you watch more right now, the puck or the game? Because once you start watching the game, hockey gets way more fun, not less. You start seeing traps being set. You start seeing pressure building. You start noticing when a team is one shift away from breaking. And suddenly, you don't need the broadcast to explain it because you're seeing it yourself, which is kind of the whole point. So next time someone yells, "Shoot!" from their couch on a rush with zero lane, let them have their moment. That's part of the sport too. But in your head, you'll be thinking, okay, but where's the trailer? Where's the weak side seam? Where's the support? And that's when you know you've crossed over. You're not only watching hockey anymore, you're reading it.